Hello, all you muddy-ass drywallers out there in drywall land, and welcome to a People Before Profit episode of the Drywall Podcast. I am your host, once again, Nick Harmon. With us today, for his first appearance on the show, we have Jake Nilsson. That is Nilsson, not Nielsen, as I repeatedly say in the show. I apologize for that. Of Nilsson Drywall out of Portland, Maine, to grace your dusty ears with a professional approach. We waste no time diving into the vast world of plaster finishes and why Jake approaches these challenges with a curious wonder. We finally break down the misconception of what a true level 5 finish really is. Oh, and just a precursor, during the early part of this show and throughout much of the rest of the show, the Fresco we are talking about is the true Fresco and not Fresco Harmony, as I do not make that distinction early on. We have a special visit from Drywall Master owner himself, Sunil D'Souza, at one point with a short discussion about the tools, but we also tackle more challenging topics from Jake's past.
Yeah, I came back and I went to a sober house, and in my sober house was a guy who's like, I was a drywaller. And I'm like, no way, dude, me too. We should start a little thing, and he was like, a sober drywall crew, really? I'm like, yeah, dude, let's do it.
Nice.
Well, come to find out, that guy, his name is Lucas Rossov, is one of the best drywall tapers I've ever seen in my entire life. He comes from Canada.
Really?
And he's a machined finish guy. And what he taught me the bazooka. He taught me a ton of stuff. He's like my older brother. He's a good buddy.
So you had a round education like early on.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was all not on purpose. It was just kind of like falling into it. But Lucas got me. How he formed his system was he used to do high rises, right? So he'd go through with 8 guys and they'd tape 500-600 sheets a week together. Boom, boom, boom. And he wanted to bring that into the higher end finishes on homes. Okay. So we melded the hand finish / machine finish world together.
We also discuss the Morph sander and do a deep dive on the automatic sanders and sponges and sanding in general. But we also round out the episode by exploring Jake's approach to sobriety and how that has shaped his company. I'm overly impressed with this amazing young man, and I hope you will be too. Wait, do you hear that? It's the winds of time marching forth. What's that, Nick? You heard me. It's happening again. I feel the changing of the weather. The months are peeling off the calendar like in a cartoon. And with the changing of the months, we always get a changing of sponsorship here on the Drywall Podcast, a company that has been a steadfast supporter of the Drywall Podcast since the beginning and continue to support us and pioneer new and innovative tools in this space. I'm talking about a little company out of Canada called Can-Am. That's right, we are ushering in Can-Am once again as our official sponsors for the months of August and September. And like always, we have something special cooked up. Maybe you've wondered if there could be a tool that both rolls and creases and glazes your inside corners all at the same time. Well, wonder no more. That tool now exists, and we're about to talk about it. It's called the Creaser Corner Finisher and was first inspired by a finisher named Pete Wilson out of Victoria, BC. And baby, it's here. Like I said, the Creaser Corner Finisher combines the roller with the glazer, making your next swipe of that stand-up inside angle fast and efficient, precisely adjusted. Feathering tabs ensure a fast, uniform finish every time, and they'll connect right to your existing Can-Am flusher handle. It's a win-win. Wolfgang himself wanted me to make sure and mention that Pete was instrumental in helping Can-Am develop this tool. So this is not as much of an endorsement from Pete, but rather a finisher like you who spearheaded this new idea, but don't take my word for it. Here is a couple of words from Pete.
No matter what you use to do your angles right now, nobody does it better than Can-Am. I would recommend Can-Am tools to anybody and everybody. They don't cost a lot to get into. It's actually some of the cheaper tools on the market, unbelievably. And they're going to make you money. They're going to streamline your workflow. Even if you've been doing this a long time and you use mechanical heads, I bet you will love these finishing heads.
I've already put in a call to Pete, and we are going to try to get an interview with him soon. Stay tuned for that. But for now, all the way from Portland, Maine, for his first appearance on the Drywall Podcast, Jake Nilsson of Nilsson Drywall, episode 175. Let's get into it.
How's it going?
There he is. Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Do you do Zoom meetings very often? You look excited.
I have had 3 in this year. That's about it. Yeah.
You're a mover and a shaker. I love that. How old? You're 35.
I am. Yeah.
You're just a baby.
I'm just starting.
Yeah, just a baby. Just learning to walk.
Yeah.
Cool. Very nice to meet you. Jake Nilsson?
Yeah, Nilsson. I'm in a spiral staircase right now.
Dude, so pretty. So pretty. And so that's like a Venetian?
This is all traditional. This was a traditional lime plastered historic house.
Okay.
We have done imperial on everything to strengthen it, and then we're doing a lime finish with fresco on top.
Right.
Yeah, fresco.
And you're doing like a decorative traditional fresco.
Yeah.
Did you come up with the design?
No, it's more of the homeowner has an eye for it, and originally we were starting with a Venetian everywhere, and then she has changed to the fresco. So
did you look up Frederico Vigil out of Albuquerque?
I did not. No, Frederico Vigil. I need to write that down. So I remember it.
Yeah, he's like the real deal. He does like the charcoal and then the traditional frescoes, but he has some traditional frescoes in the Albuquerque or the Santa Fe Museum of Art. You've got there's some pretty big artists in Santa Fe. He's pretty well known throughout the Southwest and probably beyond for fresco art. True fresco. So
cool.
Funny story. When I moved to Albuquerque, I thought this was like a sign from God, like because I was just starting to do my deal, and you and I we talked on the phone a little bit. I want to give our audience like a little bit of a background. He had some videos coming out on social. I'm always scanning social to see what's up, and you had these really professional videos, and I went to your like following, and you had like 125 followers, and I was like, and that always tells me like, oh, this guy's like just discovering social. But that, regardless, you're still really good and you're sort of thrusting onto the scene. So I messaged you and I was like, dude, I love your like social media content and you're doing plaster and stuff. Do you want to come on the podcast? And you responded right away, which is super cool. Here we are. Cool. And so we start talking about plaster and fresco harmony, obviously. And we started talking about true fresco because of this project that you're currently on location at. And so Frederico Vigil, unbeknownst to me, like, and you've worked with American clay as well, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know any of this. So I am dumping color into mud. We did a plaster project in Colorado. I did one plaster project with CB drywall, and I was like, this stuff sucks. I can do better. It's like, we did a ceiling and there's like 6 guys. My boss is mixing powders like the Swedish chef. And we're doing the whole, there was a company out of Phoenix that did the project originally, but we ended up doing the downstairs. My boss was like, we could do it, and we did. Yeah. Like he is a pretty, like Crested Butte. He was like followed the dead. He was an underwater welder, cordon bleu chef, a drywall contractor.
Of course, typical long ceiling guy, right?
Yeah,
we could do it.
Yeah, we could do it. And we did, and it looked great. I remember I was like, why aren't they using a 6-inch? Why are they using these stupid tools? And I didn't like that it wouldn't wash off of my Hawken knife. That pissed me off. And I was like, why aren't they just using mud?
Yeah.
So fast forward, I met this girl through Match.com. This was way back. I was 28, so this was probably 23 years ago.
Oh, wow.
You were a kid. You were like you were like in school. Yeah. And so she lived in Albuquerque and I was in Crested Butte. And so I go to meet her for the first time. Well, she takes me to the Spanish Cultural Center in Albuquerque, and they had a new structure being built called a Torleon. And it's like a traditional column that they used to build in front of these Spanish conquistador, kind of like a fort, and you could shoot out of it. They're like little windows, and you could shoot out of it and stuff. So it's traditional. Yeah. Well, she was taking me to show me the Spanish Cultural Center, and she knew that they were working on this fresco at the time. Well, this guy was walking out as we were walking in, and it was Frederico Vigil. And he was like, would you like to see it? And so I'm like, I don't know anything about fresco, traditional fresco. I don't know anything about plasters, still don't. And he takes us in and shows us, and he had it half done. And this place was the Sistine Chapel. He worked for 7 years on this Torleon, and it's completed now.
7 years?
7 years he was working. He had scaffold. He had colored powder all over the place. Man. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be in, and I told him what I was up to, and he was like, whatever. Get out of here. Yeah. Get out of here, apprentice. And so I took that as a sign that I needed to be in Albuquerque doing what I'm doing. But that's
awesome.
That's the story of Frederico Vigil. And then that was 23 years ago. And I've been developing Fresco Harmony ever since. And I see this dude pop up all over the place. And then he's working right now on a fresco in the museum downtown or whatever.
Wow. How old is he?
He's old. I think he's probably in his close to 80,
Yeah.
This old Spanish dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Albuquerque's cool. There's a rich history here. But enough about me. And we're going to get into, for our audience, we're going to get into a lot of plaster, a lot of fresco stuff, because the project you're on has fresco, and I want to find out about that. We're going to dive into your history. But tell me, so this client wants a fresco, but you're not like Frederico Vigil. You don't know shit about doing fresco, but how, because he had to choose a whole design. So in the Torleon, the design that he did was the Bible. It was the story of the Bible and all of these, from and then there's the Virgin Mary, the Virgin of Guadalupe, all of these different images, and it tells this whole story. Wow. There's a rhyme and reason to it. It's not just not random tattoo art.
This is more instead of a lime wash. So instead of colored lime washing, we're doing the fresco with color. So it just gives her a little bit more opaqueness and some patina in areas, so it doesn't look as integral. She likes some color over here, but fading from lights into darks pretty significantly. Wow. So, which is, awesome. How many times do we get a client who's I basically want my wall to be like that. I don't hear that a lot. I hear
but let me pause you. Most drywall contractors would be like, I can't do that, lady. And I don't even know how, but you, much like coming on the podcast, you're like, hell yeah, let's do it. This sounds awesome. I've never done that. How the fuck do I do that? Let's go.
Yeah. I did disclose that with her first. I was like, I said, listen,
who else is going to do it?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Cool.
I have an art studio that I just started doing for kind of therapy reasons, just to like clear my head at my house. And I tried to put the, drywall world into that studio. And that's where I found decorative plastering.
Right. And the plaster guys, they're all coming after the drywall dudes. But what they don't realize is that the drywall guys are like what I've found marketing Fresco Harmony is that it's a matter of like, oh, I can't do that. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you smear mud on the wall all day, every day? If anyone can do this, it's you.
Yeah, 100%. And you're literally a trowel hawk or a pan knife or whatever. You work with mud. You work with that consistency. You're the guy. Yeah.
And you're shooting yourself in the foot. What I think, because when I was doing that plaster project in Crested Butte, I was like, we were making like $135. Of course, this is like 25 years ago or whatever, but $135, high hard, 5/8. $12 million home, ski in, ski out. Yeah, like nothing. But it was decent money then. Yeah. But these plaster guys, I was like, what are they getting paid a square foot? And it was like $12. And I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong fucking business.
Yeah, it's expensive. But you tried something new and Fresco, which is sweet.
So that's that's just you and me though. Like I was like, oh, you could do blah blah blah, and like it's been the most challenging thing of my life to do. But much like though, if you don't sort of step out on the skinny branch, you never learn. I feel like drywallers get to a point where they're like comfortable knowing what they know. We've got a formula. I can bid this job. I get the job or I don't. I show up to the job. We hang it. We tape it. We finish it. Sometimes we texture it or finish it to a level 5. And we go to the next one. And I can keep that safety zone in my brain.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And that's where we live.
I only use mesh on this, or I only use paper, and I'm doing that my entire life. It's like, have you tried either or? Have you just tried it? Like, why not? My level 4 is great. And I'm like, okay, have you walked through your level 4 a year after it's been painted? You know what I mean? Or even after it's been painted. I tell that to guys, like, I have, and that's why I started saying, like, man, we got to level 5 it if you want it this way. Because I'm like, I've done everything. I've tried, to make those joints totally disappear and all that stuff disappear. And with the right light and conditions, right, after it's been done, it's like, I got to be honest about what I'm putting on that wall,
Right.
And I like to say that when I put it on that wall, I want it to last. I want it to as much as I humanly possibly can, So I have a lot of jobs. I've been to my jobs because they're good size homes, big homes that take a while to do. So I've seen my finish 2 years later, you know what I mean? And I've been able to be like, oh, you know what? I need to change that. If that's what that looks like in 2 years, maybe we need to revisit how we attack that.
I was brought up in the union, and like these guys were using like the tools. I'd never seen the tools before because I came from like mobile home manufacturing, and then I got into the union and they were using all these weird tools. And I was like, whoa. And they were breaking the butts out, like 3-4 times. Then they're taking like the Derby, and I'm like, why the hell are you doing that? I'm an apprentice, so I don't know. But I remember true smooth finish. And then sometimes they'd like roll out the entire wall and skim it. And I was like, whoa, they're really like, does it really need to be that flat from a layman standpoint? And then I got down to the south. So I'm saying sometimes it's where you're at too.
Oh, for sure.
I got down to the southwest and they're like, oh yeah, this is level 5. And I'm like, dude, that ain't level 5. Because I knew, because I was working in downtown Portland, Oregon. Sorry. For your listeners, Jake is from Portland, Maine. I was did my apprenticeship in Portland, Oregon. but I remember like they don't know what level 5 is in the Southwest, and then they're getting paid shit down here too.
That's another part.
The contractor can't afford to pay for a proper level 5 here, in my opinion.
Totally, I agree.
So then you have this huge array of finish ideas that aren't really true. It's like, what is a true level 5 or level 4 or level 3?
Totally.
You know, and then
I see architects who spec level 5, or actually who stopped specking level 5 because they have found that if they spec level 5, clients will go in and they're like, it's not perfect. And I tried to explain to people, this is another reason I got into plaster, is a level 5, what we're doing is we're taking the difference between the paper and the mud so that when sun hits it, we don't get flash points from mud and then screws showing through paint. Because with the right light, it will. But I'm not, and a level 5, I'm not truly going through and making that wall perfectly flat, plumb level square. Right?
It's an illusion.
Exactly. But when we get into the gypsum plasters, we can do that, right? We screed it. So we'll make big screed beads all the way down that with lasers.
What does that mean, we screed it?
So basically we'll put the wallboard up, blue board, and I'll typically choose a board.
Okay, wait a
smaller
second. Let's back up even farther. Yeah. So for a traditional plaster, you need a different type of board.
You do. So for the
why?
That board, the paper on it has a certain chemical that makes the plaster set different. So it doesn't set so fast.
Okay.
So if you were to put imperial or any gypsum plaster on a piece of white drywall or that's not treated, it sucks the moisture out like this and you can't work with it. So we need that particular sheet, blue board is what they call it, so that it gives you more working time, because that plaster, like Durabond, right? It sets.
Why haven't they just learned to alter the plaster to where they're finishing it and accommodating for that set time on regular drywall? Because isn't that drywall board, that's also more expensive? This goes back to the pain in the ass factor of plaster. This is why like a lot of people don't do plaster, because it's a pain in the ass. It's super expensive. And unless you got somebody like Jake being like, hell yeah, I'll do anything. Like, it's hard to find a contractor that's going to do it. And then people do it and they're like, I'll never do that again. And it kills it.
I hear it all the time about blue board finishes. And part of that is you just like drywall, we have production crews and then you have non-production crews. And we're in the the homes, higher end homes industry. And so you'll get production crews driving up that used to go, in Massachusetts, they all plaster. And that's really what's keeping it alive. So you'll get guys that would plaster hospitals. And they'll be like, yeah, we can come plaster your house. And it's just different because just like drywall, if you're drywalling a Walmart versus you're drywalling someone's $10 million house, there's a level of finish quality in there that's a little different. And so it's more so with plaster, because you can really, when you screw up a plaster job, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, that thing, you got to take it down, in my eyes. With drywall, you can go in and say, hey, I can skim these bad joints. I can build things out. But plaster, it's a little tough. But yeah, the screeding process is, it's kind of like what you do with tile, right? Or a tile floor. We basically can make your wall true plumb level square. So we'll go every 3 feet or 4 feet with some big, I use mini bead with a metal drywall bead, but it has mesh on it, and I flatten it. And then I will use these clips where we set a laser down the wall and go on that bead and set that bead exactly to the same point everywhere down that wall.
Okay.
Then we plaster with Imperial, and I have 4 foot, 5 foot darbies that we ride on that bead. So then the wall is true to that bead. Do you know what I'm saying?
Crazy. And so how, though, a good drywall person's going to be like, how do you bid something like that, man? I mean, And I'm asking it's a lot. So you've had a little bit of experience. You've probably gotten burned a little bit, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, burned in the sense
that,
of like
that learning curve is that arc is really big.
It's a big arc. And I always look at it like, you know what? You got to pay for an education sometimes in life.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? Even if this time I break even or I'm a little, I'm a bad business person. Let's just put that out there. But
we all are. We're in drywall. We're in drywall, Jake.
Yeah. But like I love the wall. I love the industry, you know? So it's like, hey, if I get an opportunity to learn and still get some money out of it and make this awesome and try this method, the next one which is what's happened, I can come in and say, I know how this works. You know, this is how much it costs, and you know, this is how much it typically takes. Awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, I've, you know, like developing a product is no different, or just living life in general. The more you learn, social media or you know, Shopify. I just designed my own website. Like I'd never done that before.
Nice.
You know, and we changed our website. I'm still learning, and it's frustrating. And you know, selling a product is just chock full of challenges.
Oh, I can't imagine.
But when I was starting out, I remember you and I are a little bit alike. I did a house, and I was going over existing texture, and I knew like I could float this stuff out with Fresco Harmony, and I was I was doing the colors on the job, and I was learning how to do it all. But early on, I knew I had to formulate the colors.
Yeah.
And I knew I needed to seal it, but I was doing a really crude method of sealer. But I needed the money, and I was like, I didn't want to do drywall, and I was like, I'll do it for $2,000. That seemed like a lot of money 20 years ago. You know, do it for $2,000. I busted this whole. It wasn't a large house, but it was like 1,400 square feet. There are all these change orders, but I didn't know to like put in the change orders to like get them okayed or any of that. So they didn't pay for any of the change orders. I think I made $12 an hour on that job.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like, you got paid for that education. Like you got paid to figure out what it takes to do a project like that.
Totally. And that's a lifetime.
And it grows, and then each project like grows. Now all of a sudden you're doing like, and the lady's like, hey man, I want to fresco this. Imagine like the knowledge that you're going to obtain from this project. You might be the next Frederico Vigil, or somebody that knows how to do fresco, which is sought after. You know, that's a cool skill.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I approach it. You know, it's money. I do this with my business as well. I need money to survive. We all do. But I try and focus on like, let's make what's possible. Like, let's make the wall and ceiling industry awesome. What can I learn? Every aspect of it. You know what I mean? Just so
it's stupid, right? Like this industry is just like, there's no like, to use Jean Carlos's, there's no sexiness.
Yeah.
But there's not, you know, this guy's down there in Florida. He's making walls sexy, like whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like this industry is just like, it's starved for creativity, vision. And 100%. I think all of the drywallers, the common theme on the Drywall Podcast is that we all have this weird love for the medium. And I think we all have an intrinsic creative nature that we don't talk about a lot. And we suppress. Think about, like, if you're out there and you're listening to this podcast, think about how long it took you to learn how to run corner bead properly or run a butt by hand. Right. And you're telling me you can't back up and learn how to skim a wall and make it look kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I took the other tack. I was like, there's no way I'm going to make the wall flat. That's too much work. I want to make it imperfect on purpose. If this ugly ass texture is okay, why can't just a kind of smooth wall be okay? That was my philosophy.
And I think, like, I personally, what I see in the world of building, framing wise, is like lumber. We don't have old lumber anymore. You know what I mean? So like things are getting it harder to be true level plumb, and it's not necessarily framers' fault. It's just what the lumber we have. But that's why these finishes are so cool, right? Because if you can make that wall the imperfections of that style, like the Fresco, any of these styles, it hides that stuff on purpose and looks really cool, right? So it's kind of like how they used crown molding back in the day.
Totally.
Like, it's got its function, and it hides that irregularity of the wall by making
or if we're going there, wood paneling.
Yeah.
I mean, no, if you distill it down, wood paneling is just hiding the drywall. It's hiding the imperfections of the drywall. Somebody had a clever idea. Or popcorn ceilings, same thing.
Huge.
And they have acoustical value. Like, so if you get a room with like heavy popcorn, the sound's going to be better. It looks like shit, but it has good sound.
Yeah, totally. Breaks up those. Yeah, it breaks up the sound.
The flat surfaces. I love this conversation already, man. We're digging in heavy dig.
Yeah,
I've had some coffee. Nice. You're in Portland, Maine. You're on this giant plaster project. It looks gorgeous. I love that spread. It's so cool.
Staircase right now.
So cool. Yeah. That probably took you probably busted that staircase in 2 days?
Well, we're not. That's first coated with Imperial.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What? And you gotta pull the fucking masking between every coat, right?
We have to mask everything, pull it. Yeah.
Not with Fresco, baby. You leave that shit up until the end. You pull it after the sealer, like it reactivates the mud, so it makes it kind of malleable, and then the tape just goes right off.
Oh, I have some. It should be coming tomorrow. I checked my shop account. Yeah, I'm pumped.
That moody blue is like it's a really pretty color, and I threw in a JJ Ash, so you're like kind of some sample sealers, so you're good to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got to have the sealer. Blue. You're probably like, and you can't get. It's a little different than plaster. You're not going to get those like extreme beautiful cobalts that you get with plaster. It has its limitations, but it also has like a ton of benefits. So. It's just another medium.
And it opens that kind of finish up to more people. Because like you said, how much it costs to get it just, because of how you're working and how those products are, they take an enormous amount of labor and thinking and thought. We have to like plan walls before we come into work, because we only have so much time, before, if you mess that up, it's not like just skim over it and redo it. It's like, we got to take it down. And that we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. So that's
crazy to me. Why do you have to take it down? Like, why can't you go over because that's going to alter your color?
It'll bleed through. Yeah. I'm sure we could reprime in this particular Fresco style. Because it dries with the plaster, so it becomes a part of it. It's kind of hard to do.
You keep calling this a Fresco style. How does this Fresco style that you're doing in this particular house differ from a normal, you said Imperial? Let's sort of break that down a little bit. When you say Imperial, would that be the simplest form of plaster that you do?
That's a gypsum plaster.
Okay.
So I guess we put it in two categories. You got gypsum and you have your lime plasters. And so your gypsums are more traditional, flat. It was what they did before, drywall. Drywall came around and it was a quicker, easier, less expensive way of doing this. So they would plaster everything. So Imperial is a base coat plaster for the gypsum system.
Okay.
That we chose to do that in here just because these walls were falling apart, and we really needed to strengthen them. So we plaster buttoned and went through. So they have a lot of structure on them now, so that they can take a decorative coat without falling off.
Right, like a load. They're taking a load. Yeah,
totally. No, we totally could have done this with brown bag Durabond as well. I would put those two are in the exact same category.
Wow. Why?
Yeah. They have the same strength. The only difference between this Imperial is I can come back with the trowel as it's setting and take off any, I call them leaves or trowel marks. With brown bag Durabond, you come back as it's setting and it just pulls. You know what I mean? So that's the only difference. So we can take out any irregularities.
Okay.
As it's drying.
Fresco will do that too. It'll pull, like if you saturate it with the sealer and wait a little bit, it'll kind of pull. If you're not
totally. Yeah. Similar to, and that's just because it doesn't have the setting that the plaster gypsum will have. They're really set quick.
And then this Fresco style, that's different than the Imperial.
Yes. So that's a traditional lime finish. So
okay.
How we have some lime products that we're exploring. That's going to be a base coat and a finish coat, and then how the process goes is once that is drying and that's on, we have about a 12-hour window to attack that certain wall. It needs to set for about 12 hours. Then we make our Fresco paint, and that needs to go on that wall as when it's in that stage. Because over time, as it dries, it's going to take that color and it calcifies. This is what I have.
It soaks in is what my brain. It soaks in. That's why frescoes last the way they do, is because the color's throughout. It actually the lime is thirsty for moisture, and so isn't the color like a slurry?
It is, yeah, and we can make it any as intense or light as we need to. So
beautiful.
Part of this process is we get the pigments. We actually get the earth pigments,
right,
and we create lime water. And then that's a whole separate thing where we have to look through color and see how, vibrant or non-vibrant she wants the color. So that's, it's a whole experimenting, try a little bit of this, experimenting, add a little bit more. Until we get colors, but
super cool. So you you would spend a lot of time in your studio messing with ratios, I would imagine. Ratios of color because you have to duplicate that on a larger scale as best as you can. Because what I found with any kind of powder pigment, you're going to get drift. You're going to get a little color drift from batch to batch.
Exactly, because they get it. It's different from October, right? There it is, but from February when they get
maybe it's coming from Colorado, or it's coming from Maine, or it's coming from Florida, or something weird, or Italy. Yeah, and you're getting different tones with the same material.
Exactly. So you could get the same color one year, and you order it the next year, and it's going to be different, which is a real fun one for me, but. Right. The client is actually awesome and understands that, and she really likes that. She doesn't want it to be like boom, boom, which is so that really helps out in this particular.
If instance. You don't mind, you don't have to name who she is, but does she have kind of an artistic background?
She does. She was a designer, so she was a.
She knows.
She was a designer, a clothing designer, and then she's also done some building design.
Okay.
And she's
she loves you. She loves you.
Yeah,
she does.
She's awesome. I bet. I mean, I love working with her. It's been.
I'll bet. Yeah.
It's. I even told her when we get colors, come on in. Let's experiment together.
Love that.
Yeah, this is your place. Let's be a part of it. You can even fresco some with me. It'd be.
Oh, cool.
I'm all about it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get some clients that want to play around. Like they'll put a couple swaths on. They're like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's different putting it on for 2 seconds than it is to do 10,000 square feet.
Right.
You're like, oh, my shoulder. But it's
careful really too. The Fresco Harmony goes on really easy. Every aspect of it is super simple. I've diluted the plaster process down into like this stupid like paint by numbers. We call it like the gateway drug, because once like, and I have people that started out doing Fresco and now they're learning about micro cement, they're learning about Tadlact, and they're getting into these other, and it's like, the plaster like community maybe looks down their nose at me a little bit, but it's like I'm creating a porthole to make this like world accessible, kind of, because it's so difficult.
And everyone looks down on somebody in this world when they're doing something. It's just how it goes. It usually comes with the territory.
Yeah, there's a lot of, for every person that looks down on me, there's a person like you that's like, hell yeah, I'll try it, dude. Like, whatever. I've got lots of clients that don't want to pay, $50 a square foot. They'd rather just pay like $6 a square foot and have their house look like plaster, kind of. They don't give a shit.
No, they're out there. There's a lot of them that are.
There's a lot.
And most of them are like friends of mine, like the people I hang out with.
Yeah.
I always show them my plaster jobs, and they're like, that's amazing, but I can't afford that.
Yeah. Well, now you could be like, dude, I got this new product, man. I'll come in and just do a wall for free. And if you like I can do the rest of the house for like, $5 a square foot or whatever. It's in the wheelhouse though, it's not so crazy, and you can actually turn a little bit of a profit, especially if you're a drywall guy competing against like every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's charging nothing for hang finish and level 5. That's the other problem. We're competing, the competition's so steep and the work is so heavy that drywall gets squeezed.
It does get squeezed. We get squeezed on all ends. I feel like red is our scope. Happens. It's like that transition. It's a rough one because electricians are still going. The place is trashed, and
they're over budget. They're already over budget. We got to cut the plaster, and it's like you're cutting the plaster. You're putting in a $10,000 front door, and you're cutting the plaster.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make sense.
And it's the first one to go. Yeah. So I've actually how I got a lot of it going up here was I've just gone to designer's office and said, I'll do your walls for free. Let me just put up some product. And, it's worked out great.
Yeah, you've been down, if you're doing plaster, you've been down that path, like that marketing path that a lot of people don't understand. Like, you're not just, they're not calling you up being like, I want a drywall bid. You have to sell it.
Yes.
And so that's a little different, but let's back up a little bit. We do want to find out about the history. Love the conversation already. Burned 30 minutes, dude. Sweet. We're going to have a part 2. I'll do it. I'll go there. We'll have a part 2. Oh, we got a caller.
Yeah. It's Drywall Master. I love his bazooka.
Wait a second. I'm calling him back, dude.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's up, Sunil? You're live on the Drywall Podcast. How you doing, buddy? You are. Now, well, we're not live. It's pre-recorded.
Yeah, did I interrupt?
I am. You're not interrupted. We got a caller coming in.
How's it going?
I'm interviewing. You might be able to hear him. Let me turn his volume up a little bit here. We have Jake Nilsson out of Portland, Maine. And I said, oh, that's Sunil with Drywall Masters. He said he likes the Drywall Master bazooka.
I have 2 of the bazookas, and one of them has the head that comes off with the clips, and I love that bazooka. It's amazing. It makes cleaning that thing so nice. It was designed awesome. And I don't know if you guys started it with an interchangeable head that can be released from the top, but nice job, brilliant.
Did you start the head that could be released? Was that you guys?
We have that. You're talking about where you take the entire head off?
Yeah.
Maybe you're talking about Tape Tech?
No, it's a Drywall Master.
Columbia and Blue Line, or now not Blue Line anymore. K-Pro all have that feature.
He says it's a Drywall Master.
Oh, it's a North Star.
Nope.
Asshole.
He said it's a North Star.
Dude,
man, you can't.
Well, let me get a Drywall Master with the interchangeable head. I'll buy it right now.
You know, the more you do stuff like that, the more likely you're going to have issues in certain down the road, I think, when it comes to repairs.
Totally.
But that being said, if we see the demand is high enough, it's not rocket science to implement something like that. The goal is always to put out a tool, in my opinion, at least, to require maintenance and downtime.
I will say, your bonehead, the Drywall Master boneheads, they're the only angle heads that our whole company uses. I do not let anyone use any
shout
other
out to the bonehead.
The bonehead's the only one. I'm serious. It's everyone who works for me knows this. I only buy boneheads. I have a ton of them. I run, I'm not a purist with all the Take Tech or any of them. I have everyone's tools. I'm a kind of a tool hoarder, but the bonehead is the only head that I have found that stays true and perfect over time. So I've loved the bonehead.
We company that machines the main body and the frames out of a solid.
Yeah.
So at least as far as I know, and if anyone says otherwise, I'll apologize to whatever manufacturers claim otherwise. But from what I could tell, a lot of people are welding the frames. And one of the things that we're really, really obsessed with is the clearance level between the main body and the frames. So, if you were to take our corner finisher and hold it up to the light where, you can kind of supposed to see where that clearance level is, you're going to see a really, really, really tiny gap. Whereas with some of the other guys, you might see a really large gap. And the problem is that over time, that gap can kind of increase with some of the ways the other guys do things. And so eventually you could experience leaks. And also for the people that actually have like the welded or the screwed frames, it could really kind of mess with the integrity of that frame as well and cause a lot of problems in the long run. With our corner finishers, the biggest complaint I often get is that, people don't like our blade settings. And for me, that's usually regional as opposed to something that's inherent in the actual tool. I believe that the way in which we're setting our blades are probably more popular than they're not. But every once in a while, we do get complaints about that. But replacing blades that people may be cracking from either dropping them or running up against a screw or changing nose clips, I would say our corner finishers, unless you're really abusive, are built to last a really, really, really long time.
Well, they say square too. That's what I love it. It gives me the same fill, they're perfect.
They're machined. The springs are machined out of a block, right? So you're not going to like metal sometimes has a memory. So when you weld, that can kind of get out of whack over time.
Yeah, it's a weak point for sure.
Cool. And I was going to add too that the Drywall, you were kind of apologizing for being a tool whore. The tool companies kind of like that though, because Sunil can get good feedback, better feedback, and any of the tool manufacturers can get better feedback from people that use different tools and experience different tools versus, the steadfast, I'm a level 5 guy, tried and true or whatever, it benefits
I have
everybody.
all of them. I have every bazooka. My taper buddy of mine has my Drywall Master bazooka right now, but I have all of them. I have all Tate Tech boxes, Columbia boxes, level 5 boxes, North Star boxes.
There you go.
Like the whole sets.
And if you get a chance, you'll have to listen to Sunil's episode on the Drywall Podcast. It's pretty good.
I will check it out. Can I add one question to ask him?
Yeah, go for it, man.
There's got to be a way, and you are the man to probably talk to. I've thought about this for years, but I would love to figure out a way that you can roll and flush or glaze with that Drywall Master head without having to go back and wipe the 3-ways.
Dude, I hate to say it, but I think Can-Am, right, Sunil?
They have one piece, yeah.
Don't they have a roller?
Honestly, you're the first person to ever bring that up. It's something that I would maybe mention to my engineers and see whether or not it's even feasible. But usually when people ask me a question, it's like not the first time I've heard it, and I have a good answer. In this particular instance, actually, this is really the first time anyone's asked me that.
Beautiful. So So when can we expect the Drywall Master roller flusher?
The answer's over here. I do have some people that work for me and with me that are a little smarter, and I'm going to have to consult them on.
All right, plead the fifth. But maybe we'll see. More will be revealed on the second episode with Sunil D'Souza of Drywall Master, coming soon. Stay tuned. Hey man, I'm gonna get back to the interview with Jake. You guys should connect offline.
I'd love to just touch base, see how things are going.
For sure.
Again, that was really kind.
Of course, man. I appreciate. And if you're listening, Sunil has been very helpful. So occasionally you come along these characters in the industry. Fresco Harmony is new. He's been supportive of the Drywall Podcast. He's been supportive of me in that he has reached out to multiple retailers in the United States and beyond about Fresco Harmony and helped me market. And I just wanted to say I appreciate it because that is rare. We've had other people have done that, but when you're small, fledgling product trying to come into this industry, we need all the help we can get. So I just wanted to tell you I appreciate you.
You know what? I'm going to keep going for you, obviously.
Right, man. And I will definitely get in touch with you after Jake. This interview is fantastic. Jake is not only is a complete expert with drywall, but he is a plaster master, and he is on like a project right now where they are going to be doing traditional fresco finishes on this house. It's so far it's been amazing. So stay tuned.
That's great. One for Drywall Master. Really emphasized this during my last one, and this is also relevant for Jake. We are a repair facility, so we repair other brands. So if Jake is a colleague,
I got a list.
And listening to the podcast.
There you go.
Need, like a Tate Tech or even a North Star. Believe it or not, we still fix. We have a lot of North Star parts here. We fix North Star.
Now, North Star North Star got bought by Level 5. Is this correct, or is this rumor?
I believe so, but honestly, I don't know the full details.
Okay.
On what's occurred, so I'm a little reluctant to want to speak too much about that.
Fair enough.
But I am comfortable saying that I do have parts that can fix a lot of North Star tools.
Okay.
I can definitely fix just about anything Tate Tech. And obviously, I fix Drywall Master.
And so if Jake has
some pretty good repairs done here.
If Jake has a tool he needs fixed, where does he go? Does he go to your website? Does he email you directly?
Put his information in, maybe give us a call, let us know that it's coming in.
Yep.
And we'll
there you go.
We'll get an estimate out to him and see if it's worth it to have it fixed.
Right.
Oh, it always is. I'll be sending them in.
There you go, man.
I usually worked with a couple guys, but I'll definitely give you guys a shout for sure.
We do too. So honestly, if you're in a location where you've already got an established guy and we're selling that guy parts, I generally don't like the steel repair business from any of my customers. So we do try to filter a lot of those repairs out to some of our partners because we sell a lot of parts as well to people.
Nice. Yeah, I believe he's in Michigan. I usually send him out there, but that's awesome. Yeah, really cool.
We're all working together. A lot of love on the Drywall Podcast today. A lot of love.
Yeah.
Hey, good hearing from you, bud. I'll call you back. We'll touch base. Talk to you soon.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
I can't believe it was a North Star.
That's okay. That's funny. So a special interlude with Sunil D'Souza of Drywall Master. I get a lot of good feedback from Drywall Master, man. People like those tools, so I think he does a pretty good.
They're solid. I mean, they're like, it's like the Cadillac of the company for sure. They do good, a great
and you
job.
can tell like he knows his shit, man.
Oh yeah.
So all right, where were we before we were interrupted? I wanted to go back to The past, only 35. So we have a small area to work with. We're going to go over, but that's okay. On the a little bit on the time frame. I'm generally around an hour to an hour and a half, but it's okay. How did do you have a college degree? Did you graduate high school? Did you go right into frickin' drywall? What's the matter with you?
I'm in recovery from alcohol and drugs, so I wasn't in recovery when I started drywall, which is the reason I like
you weren't in recovery before you started recovery.
Yeah, exactly. So drywall was one of those industries, I'm sure, any construction industry was like, as long as you get done what you need to get done and you listen, party is okay. And that was like, sign me up. These are my people,
Yeah.
And that worked for a very short period of time until I had to clean my act up.
So you were doing drywall, though. You were doing drywall. What are we talking, like 18, 19? Did you clean up early?
I cleaned up when I have 10 years now, so I was 25.
Okay, so that's
I worked in drywall
early.
from 19 to 25. I've been working in drywall.
Now,
and I started as a sander.
Are you first generation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
No one in my family does.
Why drywall? How did you choose drywall?
Literally, some guy asked me if I wanted to come help him out on a job, and I'm like, sure. I've always loved kind of manual labor. It's weird, but I've always enjoyed working with my body. And I went there, and literally the first day, it was like, all right, break time. Let's all go smoke a joint. And I'm like, what?
Yes.
I was like,
I've arrived.
And that was the boss. You know what I mean? That was the boss saying that. I'm like, these are my people.
I remember coming back from Bisbee with 2 pounds of weed when it was illegal, mind you. Like it's legal here kind of now, but like 2 pounds, and one was for my boss.
That's how it was,
Oh my gosh.
That I've spent most of my life like trying to hide it from normal society and everything, and I was like, these are my people, So I just and some of them they still live that type of lifestyle.
But still sanding, great. Your first day was sanding, and you were like, oh, I love this. Let's go do this for the rest of my life.
I did not love sanding. No. I will never love sanding. But it's rough. I mean, I have ways that make it way better now. I'm sure some of the ways. But then,
have you used the morph sander?
Oh, yeah.
You have? You're a fan of the morph.
I'm a fan of the morph.
It works, doesn't it? It fucking works.
It works great. And I tried the I believe it was the stealth before. And the morph, he figured out with that little piece that goes on the end. It's a game changer.
The apex. That's the game changer.
It's it. Yeah.
Have you? And I've interviewed him twice now.
Oh, really?
So not only does he have like a great product, but he's an amazing marketeer. Yeah, he's great. Great guy.
Yeah. I love his stuff. It's awesome. Right, I mean, it's changed.
And do you have the orange sander? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I do. Yeah, I got it. I got it all for everyone, and we have that now. That's in our sanding. Sanding, I used to sub out, and it was atrocious. And now it's a company policy with all of my guys. We all sand our work, and I really, honestly, am part of the sanding crew most of the times on any of our jobs because it's the only way I can ensure it's perfect.
You can go through and look and check the work and check everything. Yeah.
So we use all Mercas. All lights on the Mercas, joist paper. I do not. Yeah, you have to have the light on the sander. That's my rule up here. So we all have the. I was just
asked. A guy in Albuquerque here is working on the building where my office is at. I've done a Fresco job for him. Cool dude. Yeah. They're like commercial GCs. He was asking, but he's kind of like drywall guy. Like his base is kind of drywall. He was asking which sander is the best, and I was like, oh man, it comes up a lot on the Drywall podcast. Why do you like the Merca? I believe the Merca's come up, but you got Festool, you have all these DeWalt, you've got all these other brands. Why the Merca?
Merca is the best. period.
Why?
I have 18 of them.
Sander's a sander, man. 18.
No, I have 18.
You have 18. How much are these things a piece? You could retire. You could just sell your Mercas and retire.
Yeah, $2,300 a piece. The Merca. This is what like I said, I specialize in the higher end finishes. So I wouldn't recommend a Merca to somebody who's in a Walmart, right? But this is what there is typically when I started sanding, we used a porter cable. And you'd go around that place, you grind it down, you take all the edges off, then you turn right around and you go with your hand sponges, right? And you clean up what the porter cable did. And it always left these swirls on all your joints and everything. The Merca, the right way with the joist pads, 0 swirls. Nothing. All right. And with a light on that Merca, you can see exactly what you're leaving. So basically, I run through that place with the Merca, all my corner beads, all my joints, butt joints. There's no scratches.
Did you ever try the spy sponge?
I have.
With the light with the. What's your feedback on the spy sponge?
The grit's too much. It's a little too much for me. I need a little bit less grit.
You liked the light though.
I like the light for sure. In fact, I have a bunch of, I need lights all the time. When we're hand sanding, I have these bar lights that we carry with us.
I thought it was cool that they were rechargeable, the lights on the spy sponge. I've interviewed that dude too. I think his name is Jake as well. Jake Creeley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's just, you know how it is. Like, once I find a sponge in the grit that's perfect for the mud I'm using, which I love +3. I love it. I love coating it. I love everything about it. It's just finding the right sponge and grit. That's the only problem.
Weird. You wouldn't. I think about sanding sponges, and I'm like, who gives a shit? A sponge is a sponge. Yeah. That is not. So, which sponges do you use? And also, James Y. Honig of Morph wants to get into this whole abrasive world as well. We talk about that. We talk about it on the most recent episode. He's competing in a really in a competitive arena though with Trimtex.
I know
some of these fat cats that make really good sponges. Which sponges do you use?
I don't know the brand name. I get them from my supplier, but I use these corner sponges that are blue. They're in a corner. I should know the brand name, but I have found the reason I like those is the grit on them. Once they get worn a little bit, it's actually a better sponge to sand with, and it lasts longer. So I'll use those in my corners, but I also flip it on its end and use it as a flat sponge.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're blue. They're about this big,
and they get like matted. They get like matted down.
Yeah.
The grit gets matted down, but it stays gritty for a long time.
Exactly, and it just has that little bit of grit that will sand it without scratching and make it look good. Because that's nothing up here is textured. Everything I do up here is all flat, level 5, boom. So like even those tiny scratches, those will show, so it's the Northeast drywall, it's like magnifying glass, light everywhere.
So let's move on. You push through. I don't want to bore our audience with fucking sanding. I mean, not everybody likes sanding.
I could talk about sanding for 2 days and say anything.
You got to get a hold of James. Yeah. You should call that guy and just like blab about sanding.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah.
So you are not thwarted though by the sanding days early on. Your boss was probably like, let him sand. He's going to move scaffold. He's going to clean the tools. He's going to be our little bitch. Yeah. And if he can make it through that, then we'll let him spot screws. Yeah. But was that company at the time? What was the name of that company, and were they using hand tools?
All hand tools. Franchosi Drywall, old Frenchman.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Old. His dad. He's a 3rd generation drywaller.
So you learn proper.
Yeah. They were all, and they're all older guys too. They were a lot older, and they were all by hand. Then later they started getting tubes, but that's it, just for their angles.
No boxes. None of that sissy
all
American shit.
Yeah. They were all by hand. And that lasted, a while until I had to go to rehab and get my life together. And
you had carpal tunnel. You had carpal tunnel in both hands, and you had to go to rehab.
Yeah, I came back and I went to a sober house, and in my sober house was a guy who's like, I was a drywaller. And I'm like, no way, dude, me too. We should start a little thing, and he was like, a sober drywall crew, really? I'm like, yeah, dude, let's do it.
Nice.
Well, come to find out, that guy, his name is Lucas Rossov, is one of the best drywall tapers I've ever seen in my entire life. He comes from Canada, really? And he's a machined finished guy. And what he taught me the bazooka. He taught me a ton of stuff. He's like my older brother. He's a good buddy.
So you had a round education like early on.
Yeah, and it was all not on purpose. It was just kind of like falling into it. But Lucas got me. How he's formed his system was he used to do high rises, right? So he'd go through with 8 guys and they tape 500-600 sheets a week together. Boom, boom, boom. And he wanted to bring that into the higher end finishes on homes. Okay. So we melded the hand finish / machine finish world together.
Because it's all probably to level 3's machine, and then you switch over to hand.
You switch over, and there's things that machine guys do that are bad habits when you get to the level 4 side of things.
I like this. This could be controversial. What's a bad habit? One bad habit that machine person has?
Running that box without looking. And I'm serious. I've seen it so many times.
Not knowing how to finish first.
Yeah, I mean, I'll run through somebody's flats in a commercial job, and I'm like, buddy, you got pock marks down that entire flat. you just ran it and went. And I get it. I've done it. It's all dependent on how that mud's mixed, what's in there, and there's a lot of outside forces. But that's one of the things is we've always heard machine finishers kind of got a bad rap up here because they would make a mess and just run their tools and leave. And so we kind of brought those two. We tried bringing those two worlds together as the hand finishers slow down, build certain things out to prep for that box to come through, So there's
so you guys get out of rehab, a couple of drywall numbskulls, and you're like, we're going to start a business.
Well, we started. We were
and you drum up
first.
you drum up work. You subbed for other
big companies. Yeah.
Piece rate.
Yeah, we did. We were piece rate for about 3 years, and then we said, okay, we can make more money and do this way better. Cocky, young, I'm like, whatever, I could do a better job than them. So I started my own thing, and then that exploded. And which was great because what we saw is a lot of the guys running these big companies were not drywall finishers or drywall installers. They were businessmen, right? So mind you, I'm sure you go look at their profit and loss right now compared to mine this year. I'm sure this is awesome, right? I'm sure they're making a ton of money. But at the end of the day, what I hear from everyone around town is just quite wasn't there, there was the guys were either, what I hear is the guys were either great and they showed up, but they made a huge mess. Or the guys cleaned but the drywall wasn't that good. Or, it's an old Frenchman crew. This I hear a lot, which a lot of them aren't around too much anymore. Yeah. Amazing work, cleaned, but man, he was an asshole.
Yeah. And it took him 3 months to finish the house.
3 months because he did everything by hand. And he would take an hour and a half lunch break. And it's like, so, I just heard that freaking feedback and was like, okay, let's make it happen,
Cool. But you're on your own now. How long were you with this fellow? Are you guys still buds?
Yeah, Lucas actually does estimating for me now.
Okay, so you guys still work together. Okay.
Yeah, so he estimates, he helps out on that side. He beat up his body. He had some stuff with his body. So like everyone knows, this industry is only good on your body for so long.
Yeah,
true. At least doing stuff like we do, which is, hey, there's a $14 million home that's 600 sheets. go tape it with a helper and get it done in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the caliber of what we do. And Lucas just he's had some injuries. He's recovering from some right now. Okay. But yeah, I wanted to give it back because the guy taught me how to tape properly. Totally. So I'm like, bro, you're in. Just do estimating, help me run stuff. We got you. You know what I mean?
Cool. It sounds like a really great partnership.
Oh yeah. I mean, guys like my brother, Okay. And I think of piecework. You mentioned piecework, right? So that's a huge part of our business. It's a lot of what we do. That's what I've found to be a better model than the hourly stuff, is because I can incentivize better, right? Okay. I can pay more, guys can make more money, and ultimately I get a better quality product from my subs, as long as the money's in it. You know what I mean? And
that was going to be my next question. Do you pay well? Because I feel like you're going to get what you pay for with those subs, man. And if you find good subs, hold on to them,
So what I also did is I started training guys a long time ago. We had them on as employees. I trained guys in the beginning. I'd set them up as employees and say, let me train you how to do this. And then by the time you get trained and you can do this and actually make money pieceworking, I'm going to set you up to be a subcontractor.
I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah.
You don't have to go anywhere else because I'm going to I'm going to pay you well because we know how each other work. That's smart.
Yeah. So, and we have they do work for others as well, just because of how you have to have that set up or else they're considered an employee. But when they, they're buddies of mine that I trained to do the industry. Right. So we all love it. So my drywall hanger last year, who was my lead hanger, made $165,000.
Beautiful.
Which is good. Right. Yeah. It's like, and he hung a lot of rock and he worked his ass off, but you know what? That's a good living, Yeah. So
it's great.
Yeah. And that's,
and he should, because hanging sucks.
It does. And doing it right.
And it's hard to find a good hanger that does it properly. I remember my boss in Crested Butte was super anal about hanging, and the GCs loved it. It starts with the hanging, man.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little crazy, but if we miss a box, we take the sheet off.
That is pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy, but in these certain instances, it's like, you know what? The box is missed. We have enough sheets. Let's replace it.
Okay.
So, and I mean, a good miss. You know what I mean? It is crazy.
Yeah. But and you probably rarely miss boxes, but those dudes, when they miss, and also that teaches them, like, don't screw up because you got to take the sheet off.
Exactly.
And there's probably systems in place to not miss boxes.
For sure.
If you're out there and you're listening, like, you shouldn't be missing boxes. Like, I don't know. I don't run hanging crews, but it's like, come on.
Yeah.
You're going too fast. System, if you're burying boxes, you're going too fast. You're not paying attention. Is like
anything. You go check the wall out first. Check that box. If it's moving, the electrician didn't put on properly, that's not on us. Go, that's part of what we do. Go grab the GC and say, hey man, I want to point this out to you right now. Right. Because ultimately I'm going to bury all the stuff that's behind the walls. And so we're the last ones to kind of wave the flag and say, hey, this could be an issue. You know what I mean? And but I get it. Some guys want to piecework and go. So I try and instill that, like, hey man.
Well, the not my job philosophy type of thing. You got to get over that too, I think, a lot, and realize, like, you are working with the other trades and the GC to create an overall beautiful experience. And that sounds hokey, but it's not, man. No. And the more you work with the other trades and you're cool and you say hi to everybody and, okay, whatever, you can have your music on and don't fight over the music. The more you can do that, I think the better the experience is for everybody, the better the product.
For sure. And I have clients I've worked with for 9 years now that are builders, big high-end builders, and they only use me. Because we know the game, and part of that game is like, hey man, I want you to do well in here. I don't want the homeowner to come back and say, hey, well, how'd you guys miss this? Because stuff happens. So if we can come to the table and be another eye before it's covered, we'll tell them and say, hey, maybe you need to check this. And
okay. So but this does not explain how you got into all this plaster stuff. How did that start to happen? You probably, like me, you were like, is this all there is to this shit? Like, exactly. I'm like, I need to do something else.
Yeah. You get, after you figure out 5 systems of taping and you go into it and you just keep doing the same thing, it gets like, And I got my house and I had a little studio that's detached, and I was like, I'm going to make this little art studio and just mess around with some paintings because it's soothing to me for some reason, just to throw color on a painting. And then I just got a thought like, man, why can't I do this, connect the two worlds? And I started researching stuff, and Gene Carlos's videos came up.
Shut up.
And those were the first. Yeah,
you're like, I want to be sexy too, Jean. Is it Jean or Jean?
I think it's Jean.
I want to be sexy. How do I be sexy? How can I be sexy?
Some of those colors and those walls he did, I was like, dang. Yeah. How do you do this? And I just started.
Some of that, and it's not just him too. Some of that veining shit that you've seen, it's just like,
dude, like the marble.
Holy shit! Like, how are they getting it like that? It's so cool.
Oh yeah. So I just got down that rabbit hole. I mean, I watched all the videos. I just started ordering tons of different types of plaster, and I'm like, you know what? And my first thought was, I want to make some like abstract art, but with plaster.
Yeah.
And have it like just an art piece, you know what I mean? So I started making a lot of those. And then I was like, I'm just going to go around to some of these builders I already worked with and just kind of show them this stuff. And the universe prevailed, because all of a sudden I started getting specs for Venetian plaster on these jobs. I'm like, what? And it was like I was on the rail, I was on the beam somehow. Like, and so all these designers,
because it's niche, man. It's niche. And then all of a sudden you start talking to the designers. They love you. Honestly, at this point, you could probably lay off your entire crew, sell all those Mercas, although you probably still use the Mercas for the plaster, and just double down on plaster. Have you thought about fuck drywall? I'm just going to go to plaster.
I totally could.
Every day.
What happens is it's why the market, there's only so many people. I could, but I'm flying. We're going to different states to do it, because there's only so many people, right? That can.
That's the problem. Where I completely screwed up was that in my brain, when I moved to Albuquerque, I was like, I'm never doing drywall again. I'm only doing Fresco Harmony. And I just starve. I was I don't care. If I have to wait a month and then do a $2,000 project, so be it. And I would sort of supplement my income by doing patching and things. But I just was so stubborn, and it's not, I wouldn't recommend it by any means. It's I've always been lean, learned how to do everything lean. But you're absolutely right. And my question is always well, why the fuck is that? How come it's we've been 50, 60, 80 years, we're doing drywall, they're doing drywall, plaster's fallen off to the wayside, but it never came back. And it's you've got shitty drywall over here. I don't even care if it is level 5. It's still shitty. It's a flat fucking wall. And then over here, beautiful Venetian plaster, $20 a square foot, $5 a square foot, or $3, or in Albuquerque $1.25, just shit, nothing, or stratosphere. And why hasn't there been more systems, ideas created? And it goes back to the beginning of the podcast. It's because we're in a very non-creative space. Why can't Jake be hey man, okay, so you can't afford the Venetian plaster, man, but check this stuff out. We can do your whole house in this shit for 20% over smooth finish and paint.
Totally.
Or for the same price. Yeah. Because level 5 is such a nightmare.
Oh, for sure. And if level 5 could be exited out of the situation and that finish put on, it's way more affordable, right?
Right.
Which is all one of the reasons why I'm not doing Venetian plaster every day, is because it's just, there's not that many people out there that can, at least in one particular area, who's like, hey, I want to Venetian plaster this room or that.
Well, unless you're in freaking Montana with Jeremy Mistrata, and you just got people throwing money at you, and it's like, oh, I'm going to make a product. There's so much plaster. Or you're in Jean Carlos's world down in Florida making gajillions, and you're just throwing plaster around for $80 a square foot. It's like that. Yeah. Those worlds don't exist everywhere.
No.
But still, why wouldn't you skim down and travel and do and just maybe have less of that headache of running a big drywall company, scale down and just do more specialty? Why wouldn't you do that?
Well, part of the reason I what changed my life getting sober was looking at life differently, and not looking at it like it's all about me, right? So I particularly started this business and have a philosophy of people over profit. I want to bring people in, show them a cool trade, and give them an opportunity to have a life, right? And also, I love all of them, like hanging out with people and talking all day about this trade. You can't give me enough money to do that. That is the joy of it, right? And you know how many people I have seen literally come in here with nothing. I have given somebody $4,000 to change their transmission because they drove to the job and the transmission went. And he's got to figure out how to feed his kids the next day and get to work.
Right.
And now that particular person has a big savings account, looking at buying a house right now. Has a trip. Do you know what I mean? Like, that whole aspect of it is the reason I still do my business, is because I get to help people. You know what I mean? And it changes more from like how much I'm making or money or anything. Like, it's impacting other people's lives, right? And that's you can't. Yeah, the true feelings in life and like awesome feelings aren't winning something, it's helping somebody. And it's taken me a long time to realize that, but it clicked in my head, and it's like, no, man, you want to be happy, just help somebody, So I've kind of built this whole atmosphere around that, and it's in doing so, it's worked great, because no one's like, man, this guy, he's paying him this, he's not paying me this. Like, we have open conversations about piecework and what you get, and then stages to learn till you get to piecework. And like, piecework's great because I can say, hey, the world's yours. I'll give you as many sheets as you want. You want to make as much money as you want. This is how much it is for per sheet, and here we go. Right? So you can choose to work every day or nights or whatever. And because of that, or most guys, it's like you can choose to come in the morning. And if you can bang out what some people will do in a day before 1 and take off, what's the problem? Right? You made a good amount of money that day. You're getting the job finished the same time as if somebody else would. And your quality of life just went up. Right? So, that's the main reason I keep.
But I love that answer. This is drywall still. Don't you have how do you deal with challenging employees though? Because we're numbskulls. We get the derelicts of society sometimes. Sure. Do you deal with that? And I mean, because do you give them a pamphlet? Here, dude. I'll take you to a meeting, man.
I don't. Mainly, most of the people I bring on are people that have put a year in of sobriety already.
Okay. So you are predominantly kind of that takes a lot of that bullshit out of the equation.
Yeah. Our crew is predominantly sober. I still have a pulse on the sober community around town.
Of course.
And so, and a lot of my friends, everyone, we're all in that community. So, we're always on the hunt for candidates that look like, hey, man, you would be a great drywaller, and totally. It's hard to tell on who that person is, but I honestly haven't had to go hunt. Those people have just randomly. Yeah. It's weird, man.
You're in tune. You're in tune with the universe.
Yeah, it's like this guy just falls into my life.
I got sober in Crested Butte. So two things happened was, I have 22 years now.
Oh, nice, man.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Yeah. Nice. But we do NA here. But in Crested Butte, there was only AA. And I would party with all those guys. You can imagine, like, that was such a party town.
Oh, yeah.
But they only had AA there. And
it's changed. It's changed now. Denver is all NA. Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny. Up here is all AA. So
I'm sure you're close to Akron, man.
Exactly. Coming from Colorado, I'm like, where's the NA? And they're like, no, we were AA.
Yeah. Albuquerque has like a really huge fellowship. And so when I came here, I was kind of an alcohol weed guy anyways. I didn't really get into the hard stuff.
Yeah.
But you can imagine partying in Crested Butte, like it progressed very quickly, especially at altitude.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Harder. When I came to Albuquerque, though, the NA community was younger and it was really strong. And I was like, I'm just going to go over there. And I bounced around. And I think one of these old schoolers was like, pick a program, because you're just sort of hiding out type of thing. Yeah. I don't go to meetings as much anymore. I went on Monday, nice. You get your life back and things start getting I've never stopped thinking about it.
Yeah.
I've had friends of mine that have lots of time go out, and that's weird.
It is weird. Yeah. I have zero.
And they like drink normally now, and I'm like, okay, like.
Well, it's crazy.
More power to you. Let me know how it's going, and I'll ask questions and stuff. But it doesn't seem. It's still it's like and weed's legal here, so that's like kind of because I loved weed.
Yeah, I was intravenous heroin and meth addict.
Oh, okay. So you were
16.
you were in it to win it, man.
Yeah,
see, that's why you burned out quick.
I burned out fast. That's why. Yeah, I was homeless in Colorado for a year.
Yeah.
Just from nothing. Ruined everything. But
now cool. Fentanyl just kill you. Like people just die.
Just die, and you don't even know. You know what I mean? And I hear it all the time. And I have had a couple friends. I had a guy who worked with me that I found overdosed and dead, and it was just that was 6 years ago. But
it's real.
Yeah, but it's cool. You're the program, so I really try and bring those principles into this business.
I thought we had talked about it on the phone, but I think maybe I filed it away. I was like, I'll save it. To just talk to you openly about. And people do talk about it if they're comfortable on the podcast. I don't dwell on it. I'm not like a, they call him big book thumper. Like
I'm not either, but it's a nice little moral guideline. There's things like humility, being honest, being like, those are just simple things that have helped me get here. Cause it's like, it's in the construction world. Hey, I'm just going to I could have chose to be like, I do Fresco plaster, but I'm not like, I'm going to be open and honest with you. And it's just changed,
or we're not gonna leave the freaking swirls from the bad sander because I don't give a shit. I need to go drinking with my buddies. All of it.
I just can't sleep at night, like, you know what I mean? Like I have to live that way to just not get fucked up every day. So that's helped me. But
Well, that heroin, that's congratulations. I mean, and it's not that like one drug is more powerful than the next. I remember specifically not ever doing cocaine because cocaine was huge in Crested Butte. I remember not doing it because all of my friends that were doing cocaine stopped smoking weed. And I loved weed so much. I don't want, and it was expensive, and the high was like shorter. I was like, nah, I can get high. They got good weed, I'll just stick with the weed. And I knew, man, I would love that shit, dude. You know, I was content just to go fold up in my car and go to sleep. I didn't need to stay out all night. But if you are listening and you're inclined, there are programs. You can contact me. You could probably contact Jake, and either one of us would talk to you about it at any time, because also mental health stems from that as well.
It's in the same group, for sure.
Yeah. There's help. There's help if you need it, and it's more prevalent nowadays. It's not as big a faux pas. When I got sober, clean, it wasn't real popular. It wasn't as vogue. Now it's like pretty popular, and kids aren't like using as much, I think, because of the harder drugs and social media.
Because they're killing people. It's killing people bad now. But it's also one of the things I like to tell a lot of people is, if you knew me then and saw me now, it's possible. It's like, I mean, night and day. You know what I mean? So
well, even like it never ends to the level at which you can sort of improve yourself, because I think I always say like, taking drugs out of the equation, now I can like work on, nicotine's a big one. It's like, I've had to battle with nicotine for years. And then it's like food. Like I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to drink water, do ice baths, or eat better, to start paying attention to what goes into my body. And so there's no like, you just keep getting, incrementally better. I'm gonna do that hike that I wanted to do when I was using, but I was just talked about. Now I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that thing.
Yeah, totally. Or even how you interact with people. That's a big one for me. I was always I got high off validation. If you like me, I'm good, right? And realizing that's just not true. It helps you. You don't get high off those little things anymore. It's like, I'm okay just being me right here. And that's the hardest truth to figure out for some reason.
I love it. Normally I ask for a pearl of wisdom at the end of each episode. That pearl that you gave about why you don't just fire everyone and go make $1 gajillion working with traveling the world with Giancarlo. Creating sexy walls. Because of your different mindset. But I definitely don't want to choose one for you. Something you could put on a billboard that you could help your fellow tradesmen, women, or just people in general. What would you say?
I would say people before profit. I think that's the biggest thing in the trades that I have seen, and just around these days. You gotta help people. Making money's gonna happen. It just is. Just realize it. But people are part of that, and if you put money over people in this industry, you're not going to be happy. And it's not
anywhere.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
If you're putting money first, you've sort of missed the point. I think. Be aware. Money is, you said it early on, money is important. You have to make money to live, but it's not everything.
No.
The balance is really key. And you seem pretty busy. I want to ask this question too. How do you balance you've got a lot going on. It seems like you got a lot of guys. You got however many projects. I can't imagine. I would guess you've got 5 projects going on right now.
I have 14.
14. That was way low. I should have known with 18 Mirko Sanders. Mirko Sanders. Yeah, you probably got more. How many people? How many derelicts are you babysitting?
Right now it's 22.
Okay.
So it's not crazy amount.
That's kind of the sweets I've heard from different podcasts and just people at different levels. Because we've got the dudes that are just like, I'm just going to go to patching. I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do patching, charge $500 a pop. Yeah. You know, I'm going to live that life. And then I've got other people that are like, oh no, we have like, 14 people, to all the way to there's a dude out of Canada that just sold his business for $6 million, and he started a company called the CEO Academy, where he trains drywall people how to run their business.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty cool. And he's a smart dude. And I talk to him sometimes. He's really sharp about business, but it's rare to see somebody sell their business. But 6 million, he was a commercial guy, but he put all these systems in place, probably much like yourself.
Nice.
But he's been very successful. But people do say, 14 to 20, you're kind of in the sweet spot before you start. You have to hire like managers to go to the jobs.
I just hired a couple managers.
Okay.
And one of which is a plasterer who's an older guy, and it's a similar thing I have with my other guy Lucas, whereas their bodies are not in the same place, but they have all the knowledge, right? They have the years of this. So I have those guys manage for me, and my deal is like, hey man, I need to be on the tools as much as humanly possible, because I only got a certain amount of time for I'm where you are. So that's kind of how I've put it together, is I take the older guys, put them up in a more managerial position where they can handle those questions, and they just have more experience around it. So, and I take care of them, make sure they get paid well. And that's the biggest thing, is how well you pay. And I think construction these days is, they're going to start finding out soon, but you got to start paying us tradesmen, and I'm trying to push that forward. Like, tradesmen should be making a good living, we should be making some money here.
We have to.
Of course. A guy shouldn't have to worry about he should be able to make like he went to college, because he did. In my mind, you did. It's harder than college sometimes. I mean, the education you get continually happens every single day. So, but that's how I've managed.
Kudos to you, sir. I'm really impressed. It's refreshing to get the experience that you've had and bringing it to the podcast the way you have. Just a great interview. If somebody wants to follow Jake Nilsson,
it's Nilsson.
Nil with a small I. Nilsson. Tell me your Instagram handle again.
So I'm at Jake at Nilsson Drywall, or NilssonDrywallAndPlaster.com. I think my Instagram handle is Nilsson Drywall and Plaster. I'm not very social media-y.
Right.
I tried setting it all up, and I brought a buddy in who helps me run all that.
That's cool.
He's really good with videos, and
it's a lot of work, but he's doing a good job. So shout out to him. But so basically Jake has really cool videos, and he's giving, if you go check out his site, his Instagram, at least, it's probably linked to Facebook. I don't know yet, but your insights to on the job insights are really good. Thanks, your video guy's doing a good job. So you can go get some tips and tricks from Jake. I mean, this is about as pro as it gets on the Drywall Podcast. So especially with all the plaster knowledge and stuff, that's really cool insight.
Well, hey guys, I'm trying to educate builders as well on to make our lives easier, because sometimes, boy, we got to clean up after everyone, and I'm trying to change that. So
And let me know if you have any questions about the Fresco when you get it. It's as easy as you could think of.
I'm pumped.
You dump it in. go. It's like super easy. You're gonna like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's like this is fake. It's definitely fake, but it works. And I've done probably over 150,000 square feet of it. Just spanning. Yeah, we've done whole houses, just a ton.
Oh man, I'm
colored mud. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Nice. And it started with artwork also. Oddly enough, back in the day. So Jake Nilsson out of Portland, Maine, Nilsson Drywall. Thank you for being on the Drywall Podcast today, sir.
Thanks for reaching out, buddy.
Yeah, we'll be in touch, man. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
We'll see you.
All right, peace.
Bye.
What a show. I must be one of the luckiest drywallers in the world to get to interview cool people like Jake all the time. Huge shout out to you, sir. Let us know how that Fresco job turns out, and we will keep in touch. Also, I'd like to give a huge Drywall Podcast shout out to Can-Am Tools for sponsoring the month of August on the Drywall Podcast. It is because of sponsors like you and badass finishers like Jake that I get to bring you original content each and every month. This month, we're highlighting Can-Am's newest tool, the Creaser Corner Finisher. Pioneered by a finisher named Pete Wilson and developed by Can-Am, this tool tackles the insane challenge of coming up with something that both rolls and glazes the inside angles on your next project. Find out more at www.canamtool.com or look for this new tool at your favorite drywall retailer. You have a lot of choices to listen to when you turn on the radio while you're at work or on your way to work, or maybe you're on your way home, or wherever you listen to something. Today, you chose the Drywall Podcast, and I am extremely grateful to you for that. It is because of listeners like you that I keep doing these shows, so thank you. And join us next time as we have Hunter Thome for your listening pleasure. And remember, keep drywalling.